Okay, well, man. All right, good late every morning. I apologize about being a couple of minutes late. I'll do better the next time. Michael Venezia, head trader, Tradeview Markets. All right, it's a Wednesday. It's basically a do or die day. It's coming to the end of the quarter. I have probably just enough reasons to be bullish and bearish. I was going to show my screen for a second. I'm going to tell you, it's right now, obviously, it's crude. The crude and the 10, every bond across the board from the 2, the 10 to the 20 year. The mega caps are giving a little bit of back, but they're squeezing some sort of stocks. The semis are here. You have stocks like AI bouncing, IONQ bouncing, IOT, EMPH, SCDG. I can actually continue to like. Actually, that wasn't it. You know what? You got to hold these things. You know what? You got to pick a plan. You know what I mean? You can't really micromanage these things. Although the VIX is a little bit weary today. Let me go back to what I'm supposed to do. And that's to start with fundamentals. Okay, so we'll log in. It's fast and furious. What I would suggest to everybody, because we have a lot more viewers or a lot more traffic, as I'm told, that anybody that's missing anything, first of all, what a cool site. You can listen to me, you can communicate, you can also watch Coach in the top corner. Give his video that he gave at 9 o'clock. Which I believe is 9:30, which is garnering more and more views. Already 100 views an hour ago. That's more than some of the feeds that I actually pay for, and people are commenting. Warrior, thank you, always wonderful. Coach, love it to learn from older gentlemen. This guy's a dachshund lover. You must know. Look at this. Is that Tony freaking Pistachio? That looks like Tony Pistachio. That's a copyright infringement, Trivium. But at least you're a dachshund lover. Okay, good. I want to get down to, like I said, the live trading. For the reason why I punched up, anybody missed anything, go back and look at all our videos. We do them every day, getting a lot of views. Even myself is getting, I'm personally getting 100 views. Coach and I did what, 250 views again? Yeah, a lot of viewership as we approach 3,300 subscribers. This year at this time, we were 33% less. So I digress. All right, so let me get back into what's active and what's going on today as we sit here on a late Wednesday morning. Okay, keep a couple of things in mind. And here we are, like in the middle of the week, keeping a lot of things in the predominant macro or predominant sentiment. Everybody's aware, should be aware of the chart at this moment. Getting more to a little bit of the sentiment. You know, there was. It started off with fear. Okay. Yesterday, even Jim Cramer said it. Please refrain from posting anyone right now because it reverberates right back to the top. Okay. That was a day ago. Good. All beating everybody up as usual. Good though. Fear and greed was down there. Even Jim Cramer said there's a lot of fear creeping into the market. All right. I wonder those Kava calls. I hope they're working out. What else do we have here? Let's go to more important things. The fear and greed is more what I wanted to point out. My positions, I will add, actually did quite well. Worth it to short Walmart and Costco. No, Walmart maybe. It's acting poor today. Okay, this is what started it off. Aside from going back to Monday and Tuesday where it felt like a beach ball underwater to a degree. Not like this is not the type of beach ball that I wanted because there's a lot of mixed action and it's wiping off some of that negative sentiment. So negative isn't as negative as it once was. I'll reverberate back to my screen in a second. It wasn't all, like an all, red flush and that's it. There's still places to hide and stocks that were acting weak started pulling back and acting weak again. Pardon me, reading the timing model, yes. Keep in mind that when you're trying to time the market at extreme conditions, which temporarily they seem to be, you're going to be wrong before you're going to be right first. And so definitely know what you're trading. Coach seasonality, bravo. Let's get to more important things. I posted that. VFS did not work. Still not working. More important things. You know what? I guess we have to go back to the video. Okay, credit default swaps not acting. Coming in today, there was the sell signal. All right, this was from the Jesus feed. Continue of weakness in equity starting to have an effect on term sentiment. Fear, greed has entered fear territory. Breadth seeing healthy washout. I posted that, and short-term indicators are oversold, but not that much on the weekly. So what are we doing with trades? All right, let me go to my screen. Crude, and obviously the 10-year. Martha Stewart is posting oil. Was that the top for Martha? Maybe she wants to get out of oil. She's posting it's bullish. Martha, no, that's not the top yet, Martha. All right. Martha's pretty cagey. She knows what she's doing. VIX over 19. You know, once VIX gets over 20, some of these funds start to lay back a little bit. The VIX under 20, usually they want to put cash to work because there's not that much volatility. But when it gets to be highly volatile, you know, they pull back a little bit, or maybe they take some shorts off, or whatever it may be. But let me keep going. I'm getting blasted here with emails. Things here. Okay, let's go. Wise guys. Bottom line. What are they doing today? Not one of my better feeds. I'm not going to lie. I'm all over the place. Okay. EXEL. Note this call. Cody bullish. VIX. Market save. CVS. Trust me. This is FinViz. You can get this with FinViz. There's the crude. So no surprise that crude is the predominant force with the market right now, is along with the VIX and the bonds. Like I said, it's almost like ES is irrelevant in the dollar naturally. Let's go here. AUPH bullish, AAL bullish, September, October, Oxy weekly going into strength, no question. Tesla puts September today. Bank of America covered call ideas. Hopefully it's QS. APP, Western Alliance, CCL, Penn, EXAS. Not bad. Actually, that's this card. It's a little sexier than the normal. It's not like they're telling me to buy Target or Walmart. APP made its move. Tesla, I get it. Penn, sexy. EXAS, I like that one too. Not bad. I'll look at that later. Rig setting up. Brig bulls if we continue to roll out of positions for well over a year now. They're still rolling. VFS bearish wise guy action. Why throw it on? I'm sorry about this, by the way, about yawning. They see when you yawn, you're short of air, and it's like it's getting to be winter in here. The windows open. SEDG, IWM bearish, so you get the picture. Let's look at what's moving right now. And I'll go to my main screen. Planetary squeeze. AI is squeeze. What's moving? The percent of gainers in the last 15 minutes. Rum, not interested. Planetary. IONQ, I posted squeeze. AI. What's moving down the past 15 minutes? Percent losers. 15 minutes. The VIX is pulling back a little bit. Let's look at most active for the day. What do we have interest in so far with volume? Naturally, some of these reverse ETFs, NASDAQ related to there. Amazon actually very, Amazon's, it's $124 now. It's very active. You can trade this thing. AMD didn't pull the trigger. Nevada, you're simple guys. Riven got an upgrade. Actually got a Kramer push last night, negative. Lucid had big news. They're opening in Saudi Arabia. High today is 556, pulled back near the low. You stink. SC, to no surprise, is still an animal, took all the calls. Bank of America at the high of the day, taking a lot of calls. So, UVIX, is that near the high? No, we need that down. CHPT, let's look at percent gainers for the day. We're interested. Michael Milken, I'll look at that later. Turb, Tal, Chinese education stock bounce like that. Tal, what are they doing with this thing? Look at Tal. Short squeeze. That's all it is. EDU, the other one, same. Boy, these two China stocks of education, they're acting like they're closing again. Any China stocks of interest. JD, I've been messing around with it all morning. I tried to buy it. I said, you know what? I'm just bundling. All I did was churn commissions like what did I do with it? Hold on a second. Positions. Either settings, position indicator. Show me shares I traded. No, I'm flattened. All right, so let's go back here. All right, so listen, it's a situation where know where you're buying. BTU, coal stocks ripping. The CLF was on the list yesterday. Here's BTU. This BTU looks okay now. Now the coal sector is going to get me. BTU acting well. Looks a bit ARCH acting well. The other coal. Let's look. What else? CNX. All right. So there you go. Coal stocks ripping. Planetary, Blink, AMR. Tidewater's up. Driller. You don't want to be wrong. How about another driller? Any driller? What else is going up? So far we have banks, we have some call stocks and dead cat bounces in some China names, and macro tech is weak across the board. Let's take a look at some charts. Microsoft, Coach called it. You laughed at me yesterday. Amazon, Coach called it. How you doing? Apple, Coach called it. How you doing? What else? Apple, my God, 170. The weekly. All right. If you want to know what's going on, what Coach thinks about it, go to the video. Tesla. What are we doing now? Any questions, anybody? If they go to TradeGATEHub, like 14,000 windows on. Okay, let's look at some banks. Bank of America taking positive flow. All right, is somebody hedging? Is it the right type of flow? We're doing, Paul. How are you? Thanks, God. Paul, you know what? I'll tell you what, Paul, I appreciate the dedication. Certainly dedicated to his craft, to TGH. And by the way, he's been posting all these winners the other day. It looks like it might be helping. Okay, let's keep going. Any other bigger banks that have been taking flow? JP Morgan. All right, it's up to you. It's 50-50. You know, could have one big day, one big down day. Goldman Sachs, not interested. Citibank. All right. It did make a lower high. Now let's see what happens. If it doesn't break a new low, that's your line in the sand, but whatever. Paul, anything to contribute? Anybody? Let's look at my Twitter feed, what they're chirping about right now. Excel. There you go. Hold on a second. Extreme. Yeah, well, we'll do this. We'll go back to the Jesus, because he knows all. Jesus. Right here. Okay. Extremely light action on both sides, especially short-term momentum sweeps of full selected names. All right, EXEL, 5,000 calls. It was my job to tell you that. Look at EXEL. First of all, it's a bio that's acting great. Second of all, I love typing the symbol, for example, EXEL. But if you're going to compare a relative strength to any index, about to the XBI, which by the way gave it all back today, typical. EXEL saw a lot of calls go off, and you know what? These are the type of situation. The weekly, look at this freaking thing. My God, is it EXEL? It's the highlighter. It's the highlighter. EXEL. PNAW calls, nothing really sexy here. What else? Percent gainers, 15 minutes. You know what I mean? There's nothing really. Let's go to my Twitter feed and see what everybody's chirping about. First of all, I'll leave it there. I don't want to go too overboard. It's a day where you got to be in the room. Okay, hold on a second. Uh-oh. I don't want to slow anybody, but this is Bespoke. And Bespoke, by the way, I actually paid for some information on Bespoke. Phenomenal. That's where I get a lot of sentiment indicators, by the way. And I'm not alone. Even Carl Quintanilla posting something from Bespoke 3 hours ago. With that being said, there have only, it's up for you to decipher. Maybe you want a shorter rally. I'm okay. I'm just actively trading. There have only been 2 periods since the start of 2020 when the S&P was more oversold than it is now. Unfortunately, each of them was followed by very different outcomes. All right, so hedge. The more, what was 2022? 2020? That was COVID. So, I mean, one, all right, I'll leave it there. It's up to you. We got a market shutdown looming. Naturally, Coach, I'm sure, talked about that. Tremendous strength in the dollar again. That's not good for the exporters, exporters, as George Costanza would say. Micron after the close. Ooh, sexy as it is. Uber. I get it. It's trying to act well, Uber. Breeze. Not bad. Planetaire, nice action. We think alike. Meta. It's actually pretty well relative. This is my man. It used to be named IPO Dave. A lot of tech plays that have chance to be swallowed up by big players. Net of my lotto tickets. We're really living in random time. It is very random. WTI hits a price which Biden dreamed. WTI. Larry's talking. Everybody's talking. Crude in the. So you know what? It's actually more of a spectator. I mean, unless you want to wait things out, it's actually interesting from a market perspective to see what's going on. But now it's, things are getting a little bit more extreme than, it's getting beyond cocktail conversation. You know what I mean? Now people are asking me when I go get a coffee in the morning, what's going on. I'm not saying that's an indication of a reversal, but everybody's on. Maybe the government shutdown looming is, maybe, I don't know, summer ended. Maybe people thinking about buying Amazon down here. But as we know, to the tick, by the way, one of the best traders out there, private feed. And if you get on him, Mark Eckelberry, and you're lucky to get on him, probably the best futures trader I know. Mark Zuckerberg turns 40. He wants to be more mature than Billy. All right, the government wanted to break specs, so it's broken. All right, to the tick. All right, so you get the picture, guys. Listen, if you don't get the picture, I implore you to go back and watch vid coaches. Even if I go too fast, play it back and pause it. Or write down my screen or my universe. But the theme here is, I think instead of thinking short, I think you got to think outside and kind of narrow in instead of, trying to see what's going on. I think the outside forces are stronger than the markets itself at this point. And I just know one thing, that the markets are greater than us all, including myself. So I am going to pull back a little bit. I'm going to reassess my positions. If I weren't in them now, would I be long, short, have a position? Would I not care? And then I'll reassess from there. There was a rhyme. But everybody, I'll leave it there. Thank you for tuning in. The spies are at the low too, these bastards. Actually, there they are. There's the spies. Gaps all around the place. It's very sloppy. It's choppy poppy. So here they are. You know what I mean? Self-explanatory with the spies. We posted the levels, draw the lines, the triangle, the gap. It's all between here. The last, who's this guy? Anyway, you know what I mean? Let's go to the 5-minute chart. All right, there it is. Gap, new low. It's up to you. I'm not really looking at the indices that much because there are places to hide because crude oil and are separate from the indices right now. They're trading on their own with crude oil. So I'm not really looking at it. I'm not, you'll very rarely see me take a position that Qs or market like that. I'm not a believer in just gambling on indices. If the market freaking rips 1,000 points and Apple goes up a half point, that's a tell for me. You know what I mean? I just don't like. It's just not for me. You know what I mean? That's why I don't trade futures. And some guy told me a long time ago, if you want to trade future, if you want to have $1 million in your futures account, start with 2 million. And that always resonated with me. So I like to trade off something. You know what I mean? So I'll leave it at there. I'll stop pontificating. I'll probably leave it on. I'll leave this on my most active list for the day. If you go through the video, you can pause it. This is stocks with decent range. So I'll leave it with there. Thanks for tuning in. Always have a plan, and we're active in the room. I'm always here. And if I'm not, coaches, and there's always somebody present and active. That's the best thing about TGH. And second, one of the other things is that it's free. And third is that we give high level opinions, and we're not going to stop continuing to get better. And I'll get better the next time I do a video. So until then, cheers, have a plan, and trade well. Thanks again.